Back in action.
Okay, we're live.
30.
You want to wait a little bit? Oh, of course. Blake having internet issues again.
Typical.
No, actually my internet was good.
Oh.
Yeah, it looks like you two are both in air conditioning. It's 177,000 degrees sitting on the porch with the sun blaring me down right now.
Hey, I'm sitting outside.
Yeah, I bet it's
Like-
freaking 72 degrees.
That was a hot one today.
Pretty much.
I set up a bounce house this morning at 10:15, 10:30 in there, and it took me probably 45 minutes to put up. I was soaked. Like, I was like, am I that bad out of shape or what? Like, but there's hardly any wind today, and humidity is like 752,000% right now. Like, you got a pretty good rain, what, 2 nights ago, Blake?
I feel like every night heck, there's thunderheads building out right now.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah,
I like
I'm
that
not here.
shirt. I haven't seen that shirt. I like that shirt.
It's, customized. Custom.
Yeah.
War Eagle. You got to get them.
Yeah.
I thought it was rainbow color, actually.
It's the month.
Yeah, it's not cool.
Did you see the?
How about
Did
coming
you see the
Oklahoma
weights?
and
Nope.
You cut out.
Has anybody y'all look at the MPFL today?
Yeah.
West
West
beats
Logan.
At Tenkiller, and he rolls up to Eufaula on 2 days of practice, and he's got 19 and a half pounds on a 8-foot high Eufaula. Coming
That's
up.
Yeah.
It probably gets caught up to it now, though, hadn't it? I looked at it this morning. It was still coming up a little bit.
I don't know. Let me look.
I know I seen some pictures of Hackney, and he was, well, it's pretty obvious a couple of spots that he was. But it looks like it's pretty dirty. All right.
Let's see. Got it.
Which when I came home the other day, because we didn't like to fish at least 3 days, we wanted to fish 2 days, and Oak Ridge South was some of the best looking water on that part of the lake, but when it gets 8 foot high down there, you can go for miles back in that stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. Lake is still coming up at 61,000 coming in it, then 17,000 coming out.
Dang, they keep backing the water off of it too.
Oh,
Is Grand
Arkansas is freaking bad.
Is Grand still highs too?
10 foot.
I seen
yeah.
Gibson was like 24 foot high.
Yeah, and Keystone is like 23 right around there as well.
Jeez.
So they're full. And this Arkansas River pool, the chute that you idle out of, it's underwater right now.
Like above the breakwall part?
Yeah. So they canceled
that year that I fished. Really? That year I fished the Arkansas River in that open, the water was at the top of the walkways.
Yeah.
Coming out. But then you got down the curve and it was 2 foot low. Makes 0 sense.
Yeah.
And it hurt my.
I got to do some fishing today.
Really?
Yeah.
What kind of fish?
I did some bass fishing. I thought I was going to have a special guest on here tonight, but
Did you go to Tenkiller or what?
Spabinall.
Oh, same thing.
Yeah, just way better.
Nah, I've never been to Spab. I heard it was a pretty good lake.
Yeah, it's awesome. We caught some on a frog and swim jig. Well, that's all we caught them on was a frog and swim jig today. But
because you didn't flip a Christie critter. Hello.
Oh, Coop, he's down here still, so I thought he was going to get to catch some.
What's he doing? Why didn't that kid ever go home?
Exactly. I was curious of that too.
Like, if I'd have been him, I'd have been on the first flight to Canada. Because he hasn't been home but like once since last year. Like, he never goes home. Like, he is the epitome of a Bassmaster Elite Series pro.
Absolutely.
He legit fishes all the time, and it shows. It really has shown for him. He's done really well. He's a good dude too. I love Coop to death. I mean, he did have the sweetest life jacket at Tenkiller while we were there. If anybody needs to go check that out, go check out my Instagram. Aaron shot a photo of me and Coop, and he had this sweet orange life vest on that because his had blown up the day before because it rained all the time. So go check it out. It's pretty sweet. So
did it rain last week?
But just, only like 4 or 5 inches, 6, 7, somewhere in there. Not bad. But I have noticed, like, I've looked the next week, we don't have a lick of rain coming for the next 10 days down here. It doesn't
No,
look
I
like
seen
so.
ours 10 days is like 90 every day and lows in like mid 70s. So the heat's here.
Yeah. So it's going to be perfect to go to Tenkiller. Well, probably not Eufaula because it's still going to be flooded out the wazoo, but to go hang out, drive around the boat, and probably not fish for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Relax. So, me and Dad have one at Eufaula, I think, next weekend. So,
Oh, really?
I better watch the PFL and figure out where they're fishing at so I can hole poach them.
Yeah.
Not that I've ever fished Eufaula at 6 foot high in my life, but I'd like to see. Which the weights were pretty good. I think if it wouldn't have came up that extra 1.5 feet,
yes.
I think they'd have been really, really good. Because when they pull water at Eufaula, when it's been up for this long and they really pull it, I think it could be phenomenal. But I imagine they backed off on pulling the water too strong because if they looked at the forecast, which I know they do, that they don't have to yank the hell out of it to worry about keeping it down.
Right. I think and it lets that river get down a little bit. It's bad right now. Like we got a flood warnings like from the mayor, not mayor, but council, whatever. They sent it out like we're in flood stages right now. So
wow,
that'd be good to let the Muskogee pool get down a little bit because Keystone and Gibson, they need to get those back down a little bit. Well, I went to Spavinal today, like going through Wagner. All you seen was water everywhere you looked, like around the Flat Rock area.
Wow. Well, hell, it's flat for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what about gosh dang, what was I gonna say? It was actually really good. Hell, and I forgot about it already. No, we got a birthday boy here. Well, yesterday, but he finally broke out of his 20s.
Yep. Big 3-0 now.
Yeah, he still got
was that Aaron's birthday yesterday, and I didn't know.
Yep.
Yeah, good job.
Dang.
That way, sorry, punk.
Dang.
He's
happy belated birthday.
He's been eating those IB Tic Tacs for most of the day today.
Yeah.
I sent her to the moon last night.
Sent her to the moon.
Oh. Yeah, we went to one of them places that rhymes with Kitty Bar. And it wasn't good. I think we got home at midnight or something, and
well, that's early.
Yeah, it was early, but we went for sushi and we started drinking Mai Tais and thought that was a good idea.
That's a bad
Doesn't
combo.
sound
No, yeah. Mai Tais, and then we went to, then make it worse, we went to a brewery, so you're drinking IPAs. Oh, man.
Yeah.
And
so
I
you successfully had a good birthday.
I had a good birthday. But yeah, no, I don't even remember what I was drinking at the last place. I have no clue. I don't know if it was Michelob Ultra or what it was, but whatever.
So are you just getting to your prime, or are you past your prime? How do you feel?
I think
He's over it.
I'm past my prime, but I still got it,
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he thought he...
What's that?
It's like Doc Holliday said, I'm in my prime.
That's right. Well, Luke sent me something this morning that said legends never die. I said, exactly.
Yeah.
Still got it.
But he felt like he had died twice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So about noon today, I was dying. I've never had a headache like that. Literally, I think I had 2,000 milligrams of acetaminophen in my system, and I still had a banging headache. I couldn't get it to go away. I was like, man, oh man, I don't know if they roofied me last night or what, but whew.
You poor liver.
Yeah. Yep. So cheers to 30. Here we go. Put them right back through the ringer.
Well, happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
So Blake, what do you got going on the next, 15 weeks before we get to fish again? Got be Toyota Series.
They canceled the BFL. I was gonna fish the BFL Saturday, but they canceled it, so I'm gonna have an off week. But I got my family. They have a house in Colorado. I'm gonna go up there and see them. Actually, it's kind of I guess I'm going to ICAST and then flying back from Orlando straight to Colorado to go see them.
Do you ever?
Do
you have a home? Is it just on the road? You're way worse than anybody I've ever. You're my almost Coop Jr.
Yeah, well,
about being gone.
I mean, he's doing it right. So.
Well, hell, he might not be able to get across the border. That might be why he's not going home too.
His dad left him the day of. He said.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be stuck here.
Get home and see mama.
Yeah, and where he's staying at is kind of staying in some random cabin. He said down by Tenkiller Dam, out in some cabin. It's kind of a funny story. You have to ask him about, but
he might. Hey, we need to tell him to go to the Illinois River. That way he could wear his long pants and his long T-shirts and stuff to the Illinois River and get wet to death on it. But
yeah, that I bet they have it shut down right now too. So with the conditions.
Oh yeah, I imagine they're Tenkiller out too, still, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they actually had a casualty on the river last weekend. I heard, so I'm sure it's shut down. Yeah.
That's just one of those deals. Yeah, I know you only get, if it's a family vacation, get to go, but gosh dang, if the conditions are bad, it's not worth it. Because that water, I don't think people understand how much force water has. Until you've been, what's it take? 10 or 12 inches to sweep a car off the road, if it's running right. So that's a 2,000 pound object. So, and we're 200 pounds. Yeah. Well, neither of us are 200 pounds, but it doesn't take nothing to, to sweep you off. And you just can't, something can happen. Your leg, log or something. It's just not worth it. I've done some stupid stuff in my day, but man, that force of water is very nerve wracking, just like being up on the St. Lawrence River. Hell, 3 mile an hour current. Your boat can't even keep up with it. It's rolling so hard, and then
that's natural current too, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, it's
that's
not even
man-made.
man-made.
Think about.
Insane. And then you get out to the lake and 8-footers out there, and then you really don't know what. So
yeah,
and
is St. Clair does it get big like that?
Do what's that? St. Clair?
St. Clair, does it get like that?
No.
It's
way worse than St. Lawrence.
Really? How worse?
Yeah. Because instead of being 8-footers, they're 2 to 4-footers, and they're stacked. They're party boats. You just think Tenkiller's bad. You wait till we get up there. You fish Saturday, and just so happens you fish the metro area, the metro flats they call it, and the little wakeboarding boats you see out there, those are piss-ons out there. They don't even come out.
Really?
It's strict big cruisers, and it can be a washboard. It's just a big bowl, and if the wind blows, it's going to be rough, and they just stack up different there. It's a very, very rough place.
Yeah.
It can be fun though, but it can also really be rough. So,
I'm excited to get up there just to see it.
Make sure your bilge pumps are working, and you have at least 10 spinning rods.
Well, I'm halfway there.
Because I'm going bait casters. Yeah. I'm going to crack on them.
Well, good. I can borrow
Aaron knows what I'm going to do.
I can borrow some of your spinning rods.
When does off limits kick in for that?
It's like the week after ICAST.
Oh, really? You can fish up that close to it, huh?
Because I'm trying to figure out. No, I'm wrong. That's like in a couple. I just looked today.
It should be like July 4th, somewhere in there.
Yeah, you're right. It's July 7th. Yeah, because I thought about going up there before we go off limits just to get a visual of it, but I don't know.
It's big.
Yeah.
It looks
That's
tiny,
a long ways
but
to
it's
go.
not.
Yeah.
If you run from just Canadian side, it's a 25, 30-minute run. Not because you can't run 70, it's because it's a long ways across. It's not going to be, even on a flat day, it's still pretty, it just has, residuals and stuff.
Yeah.
David says you guys both obviously have some history on Tenkiller. How much did the history mess with your decisions?
It killed me.
99%. 99%.
Yeah.
Because day one it didn't, but day two it did.
Yep. Day two was.
Well, actually, it kind of messed with me the whole week because I looked at it as what happened. I talked about it 15 years ago. They dropped it out of the bushes. Well,
Yeah.
it also, I didn't expect for the weathermen to be right this time. And it rained every day we were there, and it kept it in the bushes, and we had zero sun.
Yeah.
Pretty much zero sun.
I've never been so frustrated in my life after a tournament after day two. So.
Hell, I was frustrated. You wouldn't get the damn spot. I wanted to fish for 4 hours, and every time I rolled back up there, you were sitting there. I was like, well, heck.
Yeah, and I should have had a pretty good little bag off of it too. We must have been in a weird rotation because I didn't stay on it very long, and both times I was there, I guess when he was running by.
Yeah, literally. I told her, and I was turned in there to run to it, and I was like, well, damn. Then I turned to run to Snake Creek, and there's 7 boats coming out of there, and I was like, oh, heck, I ain't going to go there. So I ran past you into the flats out there. And
yeah, I didn't even see it.
There's brownies swimming everywhere out there, and I couldn't get them to bite. They wouldn't. If the sun would have came out, looking back now, when I caught those 2 that morning, I caught like a 2.5 pound brownie and almost 3 pound largemouth, and they were schooled right there. But then all of a sudden the sun went away, and it was over with. It was just actually the lightning showed up, and Aaron started getting in the rod box because he was scared. And
I did not.
He thought about it. I told him, I said, when your rod buzzes is when it's close. And it was like my next cast, my rod buzzes. And he goes, so it's pretty close? I said, it's only really close when you throw a spinning rod out there and your line keeps going up into the sky.
My line was doing that.
And it went straight to the sky.
I switched, I changed my reel handle to my other side of my reel handle so I could jerk my spinning rod down. Because every time I kept jerking, it kept going farther away from me. I was like, this is stupid. Yeah. And I didn't like it. Milliken posted a video.
I didn't have enough.
I lost you.
Yeah, I said we didn't have enough fish to go to the dock and hide. Everybody else did, I guess.
He actually Rivette posted it. So one of my guys that I fish with here locally, he was following me around, and he said, "Heck on this!" So he went to the marina like a smart person would do, and he pulled in there and sat in there. He's just walking around the boat docks, just waiting, and Rivette pulled in there and was casting around and casts over the boat dock that he's sitting in and catches like almost a 3 pounder, like riding the storm out. Like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, I seen that video.
Yeah, that guy who was standing right there next to him who took the picture. He fishes tournaments with me, like local stuff around here.
That's funny shit. Yeah, I couldn't believe that. But yeah, that's when you got some luck on your side.
Yeah, exactly. I definitely wanted to go into I went to the bank, so I got as close to the bank as I could, but I didn't like fishing offshore during all of that.
Yeah.
Apparently, a lot of guys caught him during the storm.
Yeah. Looks like we lost Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But going back to David's question, what was it? History on Tenkiller. That it worked great until the water started coming up and that rain, and just didn't make the good adjustments. And I'm sure you remember last week on Thursday, you said someone asked what we're going to make adjustments for the next day, and mine was stay deep, fish deep more. And looking back, the right answer would have been fish shallow more. But that's part of it. You live and you learn. It's a full moon, a shad spawn still going on, the water coming up. Looking back, it's easy to say, go fish the bushes. But when you know that much about a lake and you know where they normally go, it's hard to get away from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think even Luke talked about that. I mean, look how many times he said, man, I hope there's a tournament in Oklahoma, and then it's in the bushes.
Yeah.
And then he gets a tournament that's in the bushes and doesn't fish in the bushes.
Doesn't fish the bushes, yeah.
So,
that's part of it, though.
You know, and it was funny because that day, day 2, he stayed out, he started deep and went to the bank and caught like 4 or 5, just bang, 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 bang. And then, you're still thinking like, man, I'm seeing all these fish out deep. I got to be able to catch them eventually. And
I seen a lot on day 2 out deep. It just would not commit. And I haven't talked to Luke that much about it. And so I guess he had the same issue I did. It was hard to leave them because he was still seeing them. It wasn't like they were gone. They were still there. They just wouldn't bite.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there was times you'd pull up on a brush pile, there'd be 20 of them sitting on it.
Yeah.
It's like, you got to be able to fool one of these. And if you do, it's going to be a good one. It's not like they're 13 inchers out there,
Yeah. And I lost fish. It was like my first 5 minutes. I jumped off a 2 to 2.5 pounder and didn't think much of it. It's like, that may have had it at the end of the day, may have not. Well, heck, that first fish that I lost would have been enough just to make the cut because I was, I think, 4 ounces out for making the cut. And I lost 4 fish on my GoPro, just jumping and throwing. It was just one of those days where anything and everything could go wrong. But that's just part of it.
Yep.
I'm getting a phone call right now. Sorry. I don't know what happened to Luke.
Luke's phone overheated.
Oh.
So then Pris just texted asking for the link.
Now this is the cap show now.
Yeah, that's right. We don't need Luke on here.
But no, it was
on here to listen to Luke anyway. Just like
exactly. We got any other questions? I think I seen another one roll by a second ago.
Yeah, one just now. Seems like fish are just starting to move to traditional summertime areas. Are you guys noticing the fishing seem to be 2 weeks or so behind?
Yeah, I mean, that one's kind of hard to say. Yeah, it is definitely behind because yeah, it's definitely behind to me.
Go ahead.
My bad. Sorry, guys.
No, it's definitely behind. Like normally when you go to Tenkiller, you'll go fish a bunch of just take points and there'll be schools of fish everywhere. Super hard to catch a lot of them. They get educated pretty fast. If you catch them when they just move out there, it's easy and some of the most fun you'll ever have. There just wasn't a lot of fish in groups on Tenkiller. There was me and Luke, I guess we found the same spot because where he was trying to fish on day 2. There was a bunch of fish on that, but they're just all around the lake. There wasn't just a whole lot of schools, and I truly think most of them were just majority. There was more bass on the bank than there was off the bank. The results show too. There was a lot of checks made off the banks for sure, but the top 10 was pretty much. I think pretty much all the top 10
was freaking 90% of the checks were made off the bank. I bet you can go look at it. If you went back and talked to them, I bet 90% of them were made off the bank.
Yeah, I mean, but
even like Milliken, even though he was fishing, I've seen some posts of his.
Yeah,
he's still fishing the bank.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't out there 50, 100 yards off the bank fishing, structure.
Yeah, I'm talking about
they were fishing
the ledges and stuff, yeah. Like, because those schools
they were,
wasn't, like, there was no, yeah. But, yeah, I
talked to Jason some.
Yeah.
I did talk to Jason, which he was there at one day I did live, and we talked for a little bit. And he said, all we needed was sun. It didn't matter that the fish were in the bushes, nothing like that. He said, all we needed was sun. And you notice when we did get some sun, I mean, they wouldn't be as spread out. Like you would see 4, 5, 6 together. I mean, you wouldn't see 30, but you'd see
Yeah,
4, 5, 6 all of a sudden really get on a rock or something off a point. And day two, they didn't
absolutely.
do that. What
No.
what I found. So it was just a hard headed tournament because I mean Jordan Lee, I fished around him a lot of day one, and I seen him on day two. I talked to him there at the weigh in on day three and stuff, and the pocket we started in, or I started in, he's like, dude, there was a ton of fish in there. He said he caught one or two good ones out there every day. He said,
Really.
but it was just you just had to go fishing. It was a fishing tournament. It wasn't a graphing tournament, nothing like we expected it to be.
Yeah.
We all expected it to be an offshore scoping deal, and we pushed it. I mean, you pushed it way more than I did, even, and I
Yeah.
pushed it 85, 90% of my practice. I fished offshore, and looking back now, obviously, both of us are like dumb.
Oh yeah.
When it's in the bushes in Oklahoma, as long as it's before July and it has been in the bushes,
Full moon.
fish the freaking bushes. Fish the bushes.
Shad
I
spawn
mean,
still
now
going
if the
on.
water, yeah, that's what blew my mind. I couldn't believe the shad spawn was still kind of going. I never seen it. I guess that's the reason but I didn't spend any time on the damn bank.
Yeah.
I spent, Aaron, day three of practice. I did spend 4 hours on the bank
Yeah.
and had 15 pounds, you know, and, I just, I've done stupid stuff all year, so this really doesn't add up any different to me.
Yeah. That evening I was pretty excited after day one because like every time I caught pretty much my weight off the bank. Every time I'd gone up shallow, I'd catch a fish and it didn't help me. So everything I caught up shallow did not help me. And so I was like, oh, this is perfect. I did. Yeah. And then the rain and all that. So, but then looking back at like live and stuff, I could not believe. I was very surprised how many fish were caught on boat docks. Like that's a lake I fish all the time, and not. It's normally little fish. There was a lot of solid fish being caught off boat docks, and I knew something was going on like that because I kept seeing so many boats go into the marinas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how many times have you seen a tournament won off of docks at Tenkiller?
Yeah, never. I mean, that you got those
I mean, it
exceptions,
happens,
but one school, but
but not
no,
very often.
not very often.
No.
I don't know if I made a single cast at a boat dock last week, to be honest with you.
I fished one in back of Burnt Cabin because I was going with a bag just for the hell of it. And I just didn't. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't even watch it live because I was so pissed off at myself over it.
Yeah.
Like just, this is I've had 2 tournaments in my career that fished the bushes. The Classic at Ray Roberts in June and Tenkiller in June. And guess what
Yeah.
I did? Well, Ray Roberts, I did fish the bushes. But this time I didn't fish them like I should have. I mean, just very dumb. I mean, and I like when it's in the bushes when it's tough, and you're only getting 7, 8, 9 bites a day. That's when I like to fish the bushes because that's what I grew up at Eufaula and Texoma doing. You didn't get a lot of bites,
Yeah.
but you just put your head down and you just fish bushes. And I don't know. It's over with and done. I'm glad. Well, not glad it's over with. I'd love a redo.
Oh yeah,
But
absolutely. Yeah. On
that's
a positive note, though, being from Oklahoma, both of us, and Tenkiller being special to me, of course, but Tenkiller showed out really well for us. Like there was a lot of positive, and I mean there was. I guess everyone caught a limit every day except for one day. One angler didn't.
Coop.
I wasn't going to say
Coop.
it. Yeah, I knew.
It was Coop. Yeah.
So,
but yeah, it's Coop. Because Mercer said it. And the only reason I knew that is because Mercer, I just so happened was leaving the weigh-in about that time, and Mercer said, everybody's caught a limit this week except you, Coop.
Yeah.
So,
but you know what I mean? Like
no.
overall, like the footage of, Tank, I think everyone was leaving, like all the guys, they were pretty happy with the lake. They thought, because it was the big question mark on the schedule, that and the Pasca tank. No one really knew much about, and like a lot of the guys were like, man, you got a great lake here. I'd like to come back here. Of course, we don't have
I wish
no giant fish in it, but for how small it was, it fished really well.
And
For most
really,
people.
I expected some weights. I expected the weights to be. I thought there'd be a few bigger bags.
I did too.
But I think the water. If the water would have been consistent, just a little bit, if it had been just coming down, rising water is not good.
Yeah.
Normally it's not. But normally, if it has just a little bit of fall to it, just slowly falling, I think we'd have seen a completely different tournament if it would have stayed falling
Yeah.
a little bit. Not drop the bottom out of it and then it comes back up, drop the bottom, come back up. I think that would have been pretty neat.
It would have been good for
but
us.
oh yeah, but if that water would have, but if you'd have took it too, if that water had been 2 foot in the bushes and fallen out, that lake would have fished completely different and would have been a lot smaller.
Definitely, 100%.
So I think the high water helped that part of it. I wish it had been 8 foot high and fallen instead of up and down. I think it would have been a neater. It would have really spread us out a little bit more. I think, but it was still. I mean, 100 boats on its packed period. But obviously once you go past uh, 6 shooter up north, it got tight real fast. Because there's only so many banks to fish. So
Yeah.
but other than that, if the river wouldn't have been muddy, if it had been just a little bit of a stain, that could have spread out a few more guys up that way too. I think it would have been, we could have seen some different stuff, but it didn't. It's in hindsight's 2020. It's done over with. Now we get to go. We literally pick up all spinning rods and then go from all spinning rods, and we can go all to braid, like back to back tournaments. So I think those are going to be 2 fun tournaments.
Yeah.
I don't, St. Clair, it is phenomenal fishery. Don't get me wrong, but you can go and only catch 8 or 10 fish a day, or you can catch 50 fish a day.
Really?
It's very spot oriented. I mean, it's a different beast.
Yeah.
If you've never been there, it's a whole different world than what you've ever fished for in your life. Take everything you know about fishing and throw it out the window. I mean,
Good thing I
that's
don't
kind of
know
how
much.
it is. Yeah. So I mean, that's a place. But then we go to the Mississippi. That's strictly old river fishing. I mean, just straight river fishing. So it's a cool place. I'm looking forward to. I hope it's up just a little bit.
Yeah.
Because when I was there last time, that was kind of late in the year, I think, wasn't it, Aaron? Late August or something.
Yeah.
About the same time, it was low, and you couldn't get into a lot of the backwaters. But it was a really cool fishery. I mean, it was really neat. So
I
think
believe it's
we
flooded right
definitely got.
now.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sure
it's up.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
So
thought about
mean,
making a
that's
swing around there.
Yeah, that's something. That place is massive, but it's not. If that makes sense. Like it is very. It's a very. Now if it's low, it's not big, but if it's high, it can be really big. So, but it's a strictly Arkansas River fishing type deal. I mean, you can literally go up there with a swim jig, a buzz bait, and a frog, and a flipping bait, and I mean that can really cover probably 80% of your fishing. You can go throw those air spook around too on them grass flats or fish those rock jetties and stuff and catch them. But I guarantee you most guys are going to be up there on the bank type stuff fishing. So. But there's massive flats out there. Just go out there and throw a frog, and all of a sudden you get one on a frog, and then you can catch 15 out of that same hole.
Yeah,
So that's pretty neat.
fun.
It doesn't, I've never done that, but I've heard that happens.
Some toothy critters up there too, I hear.
Oh,
Yeah, you better bring plenty of frogs.
That's what I
Because them
hear.
little suckers will eat your stuff up for sure. So, but it'll be fun. But we got a few weeks off to
Yeah.
fish around home, get some content, hang out with the families, and kind of enjoy. Well, you're not. You're going to go off to Never Ever Land and hang out.
Yeah.
So, but I'll be home doing bounce houses, working cows, mowing grass. The normal stuff. But
Yeah. The fun stuff.
hey, Exotic did. Is it those rocks that Clint
Buzzer.
gave Bartlett? The buzzer rocks, yeah. So Exotic's got those now. I'm getting some more of those sent to me this week and everything. I'm going to try those out and see how that works out. I heard good things about them, so I'm kind of looking forward to really trying them out and see how they do. It's a live well treatment type stuff, kind of like a
Hmm.
uh, what do you call it? G juice stuff
G-juice.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're tablets and stuff. So it'll be easy just throwing your live well, and you don't have to measure out nothing. Just throw them in ever so often, and throw you a little ice on them, and it's really they're supposed to be dang sure good. So looking forward to
That's,
trying those out, and I'll try them next week. And actually, you follow with Dad. So
heck yeah, that's a good idea right there.
yeah, get those going. So other than that, get the booyah spinner baits tied on, and my Christie critters and jiu-jitsu jigs, and go flipping bushes and willow trees. I hope. Well, hell, they
Yeah.
can't drop 8 foot out of by next week, so I'll be flipping somewhere,
We'll go to
no
Tenkiller.
doubt. No, we'll not go Tenkiller. You will not see me up there unless they call us to go back there again.
Yeah.
So, no,
That's
it's
fun.
I'd actually I really enjoy that. Like, it's a fun like to go fish, but it's too much of a drive for me, and not it's hot now, so I can go home. I can
Yeah.
go fish my jackpots right here if I want to. Might go fish the Colgate Lake jackpot. Get in on that. Check it out. So
Two
Yeah.
different guys there. Blake will drive to Duluth, Minnesota to fun fish for 2 days, and you won't drive 2 hours to go fun fish.
We don't all have
Well,
private lakes in our backyards.
That is true. He
well,
gets spoiled.
yeah. I mean, it is tough to just take off and leave anymore. I don't know. I guess because I've been so much fishing and stuff the last 6 or 7 years that and we had a long spring fishing, so it's kind of nice to be home and listen to your kids scream all the time. So it's great.
I
I've
think
been up
Michael's
since
trying to.
11:30 last night. What's he
I
got?
think Mike, he's trying to get Luke DQ'd. I think
Yeah.
or banned.
He said post.
That's the way I read it.
Yeah, he postponed this. Well, I mean, me and Dad had a pretty good spring at Eufaula.
Yeah.
Dad had a really good spring at Eufaula. I think he won. He won to come in second twice in like
Yeah.
4 tournaments up there. So he was on it. Dad was on it going on for sure. Though A rigs might have been brought out just a touch, but you know we. Dad is one A rig throwing son of a gun. He's the man when he throws it. So
Off subject.
looking forward to getting.
Is the Thunder going to win tonight?
Shoot, I ain't even watching none of it. This is game 6, isn't it? So if they win, it's over Grover.
Yeah.
So
We got to wrap this
I
up pretty
hadn't.
soon because we're about.
We have Roku TV, so
Yeah.
I don't even.
I didn't even know they were playing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, if
after
they
that.
win, it's done.
Yeah, it's over after the night.
Who would have
Now we
guessed?
put up. We
Oklahoma have a
delivered.
basketball
We
team.
delivered 2 bounce houses today, and we brought one back to the house to put up. And for Landry and her couple of her cousins and one of her 2 of her friends come over, and Lucy and Corbin brought Mila, and me and Lakin, we went down the slide once together. He is not too much of a fan of that. So, but we sat out there and we've all got sunburnt and had a good time, and so
Nice.
that's gonna be my summer. I think I'm gonna chill out a little bit and get back to the good times in life.
End it tonight. I agree.
And it's tonight. Get rid of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I bet the Thunder Dome does not want us in tonight because they want to make that cash flow. They're going to come in all them tickets on Game
Oh
7
yeah,
back
100%.
home.
That would be cool if they could, go back to OKC and then win, make that extra money. Be cool. But
Oh
go
God.
back to OKC and then they lose. So
Yeah, it wouldn't be so good.
I say just
So,
end tonight.
well, I guess that can kind of get us going. Other than we're gonna just keep going for the next month. You know,
Yeah.
Yep.
we don't have a lot going. Which hell, everything's still flooded around us to really go fishing. So maybe next week or 10 days it'll kind of get back to normal around here and we can go fishing. But then it'll be so damn hot that we can't function. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'll be going up to
July 4th on the floor.
air and finding some cool weather.
Come on up.
Yeah.
I'll
You
swing
guys
by.
just enjoy it. Yeah. No
You can go to
doubt.
St. Clair with me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go over there.
He'll sit
swim.
back in the back and watch what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just throw him a life jacket out and drag him around.
Mhm. I'll bring a cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So,
All
well, I
right.
don't know. We'll plan what next. Probably we'll throw one up another 2 weeks or something. Another live.
Yeah.
We'll kind of talk and see if we want to do that and kind of let's go hang out for a week or two and see what's going on in our lives and maybe catch a few fish. If us guys kind of get some time off, we'll see if we get to go fishing and talk about our fish catches and we'll do some bragging rights maybe
There
that
we
week
go.
or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I got some. We'll do the next time. I got some Yum giveaway stuff. So next time we'll get some. I don't know. We'll do some fact checking on people and see if we can get them out of it. And so let's look at that maybe next time and see what they can get out of them.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, you boys have fun. Thank y'all guys for watching us out, and see y'all here in a couple weeks.
Thanks,
See y'all later.
guys.
All right. See y'all.